Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jackson Hearth. Today, we're going to talk about the next step. If you remember last week, we talked about my wine. Now, I got some great feedback from you guys, loved it. And today I want to talk about what you need to do before you go out and potentially purchase a shed for your to convert, or you get your tiny house. Because the first thing you need to do is one, figure out what state you want to live in. And then two, you need to research the zoning. Now, here in Georgia, tiny homes are not allowed in most counties. You can get away with it in some counties. You just have to research it. But most counties, most cities, most municipalities here in Georgia do not allow it. Now, there are some that are changing, but right now in Georgia, they do not allow it. But you can find tiny home communities popping up in different locations. And that is a way that they have been able to do it. Now, other states, like, for example, I'm going to be moving to Alabama. Now, Alabama, you have to just make sure that you're not in a subdivision, you're not in a city, and that the land is either no zoning or unrestricted. Um, but again, this is going to be something that you're going to have to really, really do your due diligence, do your research, look into all state and local municipalities. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave me a message, drop me a comment. If you need help, let me know what state you're in, and I'd be happy to help because this is very important because you don't want to get your shed conversion or your tiny home all set up on your property and they come and they tell you to move it. Now, there could be other ways about that. And again, you're going to have to do the research. Like you could have like a mother-in-law's suite and put in the backyard of someone's house, or um that would work. Um, but what I would do it also is stay away from HOAs because those are not going to allow it. You don't want to be in an HOA, even if there is a small, it's a tiny home community. I try to stay away from HOAs because really, for me, it's like you really can't do anything without having an HOA president or counselor or whatever it might be. Okay, what you do. Now, again, most HOAs are not going to be for tiny homes. They're going to have restrictions such as your house needs to be at least 1,100 to 1,200 square feet, have offsets and things of that nature. But again, you can find these properties. Like, for example, while I'm looking in Alabama, I found a number of great properties. I found, and some of them are raw land, meaning that nothing's ever been on there, meaning you'd have to take down the trees and take down and grade and level. Or you can find like properties who maybe the house is burned or it's a small lot or something like that that's unrestricted. But again, you need to research, do your due diligence. Don't go by what your real estate agent tells you. If you're looking for land, don't go by what you've heard, because that too can get you in a lot of trouble. So, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're doing your own research and that you're looking and you're trying to find a location. Again, if you need help, please reach out. I'll try to help you as much as I can and try to give you the right direction or someone that you could call. Like for me, I've had to call the local commissioner's office because I couldn't find if something was allowed. Well, you call the local commissioner's office or your local governmental official office for the county, they will send you to where you need to be. I also know now, I don't know if it's all states, but I do know in the state of Alabama, they do have FEMA has came in and talked about flood zoning. So you want to make sure that that is great. You also want to make sure, if you, but this is all before you go to get your house and do your bill. You want to make sure, do you need a septic tank? Do you have, or is there, um, Do you need a well? Is there water out there? What are your resources? Is there electric that's going to be out there? For example, one of my properties that I'm looking at has to have an engineered septic tank. In the state of Alabama, it's a no gray water, and you have to have a septic tank, meaning that anything other than like dishwater or laundry water has to be go into the septic tank. It can't go out into the ground. Now, that could change in the future. Anything can change, laws can change, they can get tighter, they can get more relaxed. So you need to really keep up on these restrictions, your guidelines, what your state and local government say about it. And also, you want to also make sure that you're able to really, really understand what you're going to need for septic, water, because you have to have water, you need to have power. You could do off-grid, that is also option. So there are just so many options that you need to look at before you even start to build or order or do anything to your tiny home so that you have everything lined up. For example, I will be moving to Alabama probably the first of the year, hopefully around January or February. Right now, I've got properties lined up. I've got two or three properties that I like. I have one that I really like, and then I have two backups that will fit the bill. They just may need a little bit more extra work. I also know who the electric company is, if I can get water, if I have to have electric, what I'm going to do for water. I also have backups for that you know, so I always try to do my due diligence. I've also had to actually leave a property I liked because there was a mix up in the zone in the tax and the survey didn't match up. So you need to really look um, at what you're given, at the information you're given, and I always call back and see if I get the same answer because it's very important that the information you're getting is up to date. And if you can, send an email. I first sent an email to the local office and said, if I'm in a restricted area, am I allowed to have a tiny home? If so, do I need to have a septic? And they will explain it to you. Like, for example, our septic system, when I moved to Alabama, goes to the health department. So I have to deal with the health department to get my septic tank. I have to have that built. I have to have it dug. I have to, so there's just so many moving parts. And when the parts get to moving really fast, you don't really have time to really think. You need to have all this set aside, lined up, and written down before we even get there. Because like I said, right now I have everything is in line, everything is in order. I will be doing some more calls this week, trying to set up some more to figure out when I need to and what I need to do about a certain issue that I'm having, trying to, figure out if um, about a property I did like that had a burnt house, if I need to have that, if it's, I'm sorry, if it's okay to build on top where the house was at. I don't know about the soil, so I've got to have, I mean, I'm gonna have to have a soil testing. If you dig a well, you have to have the water tested. And remember, if you dig a well, you have to pay the money regardless if they hit water or not. So for example, say you pay $6,000, they don't hit water. Well, you just lost $6,000. You will have to pay another $6,000 or 7,000. Again, these are not the real prices. It is going to determine your area, your location, what they're charging to dig wells. But remember, if they go out to dig a well and they do not hit water, you've lost that money. You've got to then pay the extra the another amount to have another portion dug. So you really want to do your due diligence, try to figure out if you can find the water, if it looks like the water table is high, if there's an aquifer under there. There's a lot of things that you can do. So just by understanding and doing your due diligence, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. There's going to be issues that come up. And what I also do too is and we'll talk about this more when I go to funding. But right now, we're just gathering information. So I want you to gather. I want you to look at where you want to live. I want you to look at the state you want to live in, then look at the county in which you want to live, because most counties have their own zoning. So each county will have their own zoning. So you would be able to look at that county. And most cities in most states do not allow for tiny homes in the city limits, but they would potentially allow outside the city limits outside of HOAs. But again, I would do your due diligence and just look to see because there could be some states that I haven't researched that allow them in the city. Um, But yeah, so this is it's just a short video. I wanted to talk to you today about zoning and why it's important because again, you don't want to buy a piece of land and realize that you can't put your house there and you've already paid maybe 20, $30,000 or more for a piece of land that you can't use. So again, it's very important that you really look at the land. Um, Talk to your real estate agent, ask them questions, have them get you information, have them get you surveys. You really want to have a survey. You really want to know what that property is again once you found it. But it's really good to look into your zoning registrations and things of that nature within the state and county. But if you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a comment, reach out to me on Patreon. And, feel free to do my Patreon because after the first of the year, I am going to be doing Patreon only information because it's going to deal with my health and kind of how I have done a 180 in my health. But that's just a tease how I've gone from being on like 9 to 10 medications um a day to what I'm now on 4. Um, so it's for me, it was very important. I really think that um, it is doable. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm not one. I am just want to discuss things that I did, the things that I talked to my doctor. Obviously, my doctor did do that. She was able to really follow along with me. I was able to email her what was going on with things. But again, all this is going to be on the Patreon page after the first of the year. As of right now, our Patreon page is free for everybody. After the first of the year, it will go to our tiers. But again, the information that I'm going to be giving, and some things I'm going to be talking about when it goes to housing and when it goes to cooking and things of that nature. We're going to do some cooking things when it goes to decluttering. I can't talk about here on YouTube, so I'm going to have to take it over to Patreon and I'm going to do deep dives. Also, you're going to be able to submit me questions and I will be doing live actions. But tonight, and today I wanted to talk to you today about, zoning and regulations. But in one of my next videos, I'm going to talk about things that are going to be happening in upcoming in mine. But I'm also going to do a short video on the Patreon page, what it's going to offer and what you're going to get from it. But again, from my hearth to yours, have a great and blessed day. Goodbye.